Hello children, welcome to my class. Today we are going to do note making. This question is in class 11th as well as in class 12th and it carries 8 marks. This question has 4 components as you can see here. Heading 1 mark, notes 2 marks, abbreviations 1 mark and summary 4 marks. These 4 marks are further divided: 2 for content, 1 for expressions. Expressions means grammatical errors or spelling errors, and format. So summary has to be of 80 marks. 2 words, 3-4 words could be less or more, but not more than that. So here children, you can see we will discuss it one by one. So first of all, we'll begin with heading. But before we start heading, let me tell you why do we need to learn note making. Children, as you grow up in higher classes, you see thick books and notes are required to be made, as you cannot memorize everything. So while you make notes, while the lessons are going on in the class, you make notes. Those notes aid your memory, and especially during times of examination, it's always notes come handy. They're easy to look at and these notes help you to recall what all is the content of the lesson or topic or unit, whatever you are learning for. So look at this heading children. The passage given for note making is almost of 900 to 1000 words. So before you start attempting, you need to read it, and quickly you read the whole passage, and after you have read the whole passage, you will come to know about the idea or the points which the passage says. So based on that idea, based on those thoughts, you think of some suitable heading and write that. So here I just went through a passage some days ago that said something about the art of conversation skills, how one should converse with the other people. So just keeping that in mind, I wrote this heading for an example for you: conversation and art, or an art of conversation. It could be written in this way also: conversation, colon, an art, or conversation, an art of conversation. Children, please note it down that you can see first letter of conversation C capital, then colon, and A capital, art A capital again, and art of conversation, this first letters are capital. While you write the title of any topic or any chapter, you will note it down in the textbooks also. First letters, except articles or prepositions or helping verbs, letters of each word, first alphabet of each word is capital. So it's basic and simple thing, and not difficult to remember and not difficult to follow. So just take care of this thing. An is an article, but still because it is a beginning word, so A is capital. Here also an is an article because it is coming after the colon, so that's why we are writing A of an capital. Otherwise, had it been in between the title, we would have written A of an as a small letter. And children, also remember your ideal note making, how it should be. It should be short, it should be precise, it should be logical, it should assimilate the whole idea of the passage, and it should be understandable. Means in future when you refer to your notes, things should be very clear to you. You shouldn't be confused that why did I write this word or why did I write that line. Now come to the next part, which is title, subtitles. This is apparently it could be little complicated to see, but it is not at all if you go through this thing carefully. Now children, when we write titles and subtitles, you need to divide the whole passage into 3 to 4 parts, or could be 5, but in order to save time, 3 parts would be enough. You mentally could just divide it into 3 parts, or you can see where the thought or idea is changed. That part should be considered as a new paragraph, right? So let's pick up the first part now. Now second time you have to read the passage, but not the entire passage, only that brief part, that short part. After reading that, you will find out that what does this passage, what does that part of the passage speak about. So keeping that in mind, you will write a line. It shouldn't be full sentence, okay? And then what does that whole passage, that small passage says? Those points will be written as subtitle. Title 1, then 1.1 first point, 1.2 second point, 1.3 third point. Then again go through the second part, second passage which you have already divided. Give number 2 to this. You can write it as A, B, C, D also, or you can give Roman numbers also. That is entirely up to you. Then you gave it subtitles 2.1, 2.2 and 2.3, and children, there could be more point in any of the subtitle. Then we call it subtitle. That is to be written in this manner. You wrote 2.1, you wrote 2.2, and you found that there is something more to be written. For that, you will give this number 2.2.1, and still you felt the need to write further 2.2.2. If there is something more, what will be the number? 2.2.3. Correct? So similarly, third title, third passage, third part of the passage, and subtitles will be written according to that. Now there are certain rules for that too are not very difficult. Here we are allowed to use abbreviations because we are making notes. We cannot write each and every line thoroughly. We cannot write everything here. Otherwise, what will be the purpose of writing notes? So, while you write these subtitles and titles, you are allowed to use abbreviations, which we will be doing in the next part. But for the time being, let me tell you, you are to use abbreviations. Please do not write full sentences and avoid use of prepositions, articles, helping verbs, and proper collection, proper assimilation of the main idea should be there in all the titles and subtitles. This thing you have to take care of, which is quite easy to attempt, right? So look at once again here, and once we do one solved and unsolved, you will have a pretty good idea how this note making question is attempted. One more thing, children, has to be taken care of. Just take care of proper gap here. We call it indentation, means to leave space, proper space, in order to give it a proper format, which is recommended by the CBSE. Look at this. This is a gap here. First title and first title and second title and third title. They are in the same line. Then you see subtitles. Subtitles, we are leaving this much gap here, same gap here, and same gap here, right? Then further, if we are writing subtitles, we are leaving gap, equal gap here, and do you see that? So this is the format. Here only these things are to be taken care of. I am repeating it quickly. One is abbreviations are allowed to use here, abbreviation must be used here. Then no use of prepositions or articles or helping verbs in order to make it short and brief. And then indentation should be taken care of. Proper gap should be there. Student, this is third part of our note making, which is abbreviation. Although it's only of 1 mark, but there are other things which I have mentioned on the board. I'm sure many of you would be knowing them for the first time, and they are useful in future also. Not only in note making, but whenever you are writing your answers, that time also these things will be useful. Now children, after you have written titles, subtitles, after that you need to draw a table like this, and there abbreviations 4 to 5 are enough. At the most 6 you can write, but I guess 4, 5 or 6, at the most 6 abbreviations would be enough. So you make a column for abbreviated words, the words which you have abbreviated and their abbreviated form, right? So you can see that books, for books you write BKS, and for point it is for PT, weight. This way you can write your abbreviations. Now children, abbreviations are also these kinds. You can see first is acronym. What are acronyms? Acronyms are the capital initial letters. We take initial letters from the words, and these are acronyms. Some examples you can see. CO, for example, it is commanding officer. Then you can see UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Then USA, United States of America. For GPO, it stands for General Post Office, like this. Then second type of abbreviation is contractions, means short form of words. Shortening, we shorten the word. For captain, you can see technical, TECH, shan't, shall not. We contract the words. You would have done it in class 3 or 4. We contract the words. Then university, university, UNIV, and then dot. So then later on in this part I will tell you why this full stop is placed, and in some of the abbreviations we do not place a full stop. Then we have short forms of the words. In such kind of words we take first and last letters of the words. Like draft, we took D here and T in the end, and in between we chose F to be written, and established ESTD. Now children, note making, I told you, it helps you for future reference. When exam times are going on, then you can quickly recall what you all wrote. So see, it should be written like that. Some abbreviations are common abbreviations, university accepted abbreviations, but some abbreviations, like you just form them, but they should be in such a manner that when you read the same note after a period of suppose 2 to 3 months or after a week, you should not forget that why I wrote this abbreviation, why I wrote this word. Established. So if established word itself is not there, you should understand that okay, I wrote it for this word, right? Then we have universal and mathematical symbols. You are aware of that. Like you can see these 3 dots, 1 dot up and 2 dots below for therefore. Then just opposite of that, for because, percentage, greater than, similarly smaller than, then at the rate of, and there are many. Okay. So children, 2 things I would like to tell you. These are important. Use of full stop in abbreviations. Here you can see that in these abbreviations I have put a full stop, and in these abbreviations you can see no full stop is used. Why? It is because full stop is put after the abbreviation which does not end with the last letter of the word. This abbreviation, company, you can see its last word. This is abbreviation of company, and the last word is O. It does not end with the word Y. Therefore, we put a full stop there. Division, last letter is N. But when we write abbreviation for division, we are ending it with V. Therefore, we write a full stop here. Similarly, information, INFO. This is O is not the last letter of information word. So I am putting full stop here. This is a simple rule. And just in contrast, abbreviations that end with the last letter, we do not put any full stop there. For Mr, we write MR without full stop. For doctor, we write DR but without full stop. For government, we write GOBT, last letter is used here, here and here, but without full stop, right? So this is how we use abbreviations in our note making part. Now we shall discuss summary quickly. So here we are with the last part of note making, that is summary, and the easiest part too, although it fetches 4 marks. If you attempt it correctly, you will gain 4 marks, and word limit is 80 words. And just note down the points which are written here, that summary doesn't mean that you will be copying the sentences from the passage, because by the time you reach summary, you would have read the summary at least twice or thrice. So till that time you have very good understanding of the thoughts or ideas or theme of the passage. So write according to your understanding, children. Try not to copy sentences and write gist of the passage, what the passage wants to convey. And remember, no phrases and abbreviations are to be used here. Abbreviations we used in title, subtitle, but in summary we write complete sentences and we do not use abbreviations and summary, abbreviation and phrases. And children, summaries although of 80 words, but 3 to 4 words more or less would be okay. And in the end, do not forget to write the words, number of words which you have written. They could be like 79 or 81 or 83 or 80. The number should match these numbers. There shouldn't be too much difference. And while going through the correction of board copies, children, I noticed that some students, they write summary in a box and give a heading or title to the summary, which is not mandatory. It is okay if you're writing, that's fine, but if you do not write, don't worry, you will not lose any marks for not writing heading, for not giving summary, heading to the summary, or for not writing it inside the box. So, but summary, yes, S-U-M-M-A-R-Y, that has to be written when you write the summary. So, here, note making comes to an end. We are done with this. But this lecture will not be fruitful, children, if you do not attempt one note making question on your own. So for that, I am giving you 2 questions, one solved and one unsolved, which you can see in the description box. For that, you will have to click the link and the questions will be there, and please do attempt them. So see you soon. Bye bye.